2 weeks ago, I asked you to ask me questions to celebrate me reaching 100 subscribers. Here's my answers. In chronological order, Costa Watch in first. Thoughts on Europa Park being named the best park in the world. I think this makes sense from a GP or family-oriented point of view, because theming, operations, impressive coasters. As a thrill seeker, however, there are a lot of parks I rank much higher. Thoughts on North American parks versus European parks? It's a tricky question actually. Not all American parks, North American parks are the same, and not all European parks either. Each continent has a fair share of parks with either gorgeous landscaping, awesome coasters, or crappy operations. For me, the biggest difference is North America has more coasters overall, and specifically more extreme coasters. Like, you don't have Infinity 2 or 3 or 5 or Skyrush in Europe. What are some of your bucket list coasters that are in North America? If I had to narrow it down to 10, it would be 3 to 5, Infinity 2 or 3 or 5, Maverick, All-Around, Lightning Rod, Kamba, Coaster Plainen, Cannibal, Skyrush, and Manhattan Express. Just to find out if that's really this bad. Thoughts on Merlin purchasing Birch Gardens? I'm skeptical. Merlin doesn't seem to make the smartest investment out there at times, but at least they're not parkour reneeders and not investing at all. What's your favorite B&M in Europe? Shambhala? But I haven't ridden it. Otherwise, the Monster at Alligator. Do you listen to music? If so, what do you listen to? I'm kind of an eclectic guy. Some of my favorite artists include Chopin, Texas, Phoenix, George Michael, and The Verve. Bobby Brown is also cool. Europe Coasters asks, what do you think is the best coaster out there? Lightning Rod, running at its full potential. However, T-Express has the best first half on any coaster in my opinion. It's really a shame that Intamin simply copy and pasted Baldur's layout for the second half. There was so much potential with the terrain. What's your credit count? 104. Favorite coaster from France is Alpina Blitz. Coaster Mem says, have you ever been stuck on a roller coaster? Not from what I remember, I'm not sure. What your favorite B&M? Flying Dinosaur, but then again I haven't ridden it. Coaster Jaden says, can we get some reviews of the US coasters you've been on? You don't seem to talk about them much. Oh yes, definitely, that's something I would like to do someday, eventually. I have to admit I feel less confident about talking about US coasters because I'm less familiar with those, and then there's also the issue of video rights. But I would really like to post one review of a Six Flags coasters by October. Top 5 manufacturers. In no particular order: B&M, Intamin, RMC, Mack, and New Vekoma. Highest bucket list: B&M, that's 5 in my list. Starry, Sky Ripper, Flying Dinosaur, Fury 3 to 5, Berenice, and Montu. Highest bucket list: Intamin, Skyrush, Maverick, T-Express, Infinity 2 3 or 5, and Red Fire. Roller Coasters Worldwide asked me, if you could be a roller coaster, which one would you like to be? Anaconda at Gority. What's your favorite theme park food? I'd say currywurst at Fantasyland. Which Asian theme park do you want to visit the most? I like this question. Fuji Q Island would be my top pick right now, but I would really wish that Evelyn could have kept Eagle's Fortress. Have you ever been to the United States? 3 times. What's your least favorite coaster? King. What's your favorite water ride? Chiapas at Fantasyland. Which country should have more theme parks in your opinion? New Zealand. Why did you name your channel Coaster Hipster? Because of my GP friends and the fact that I was talking a lot to them about coasters and also about obscure coasters, at least to them, like Anaconda, Le Coaster, or even Coaster Through the Clouds. And also the name Coaster Hipster sounds cool and unique. KW6 Theater says, Best Disney Coaster, Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland Paris, Indy Blitz or Dogfight Coaster, Indy Blitz, Mindbender at Galaxyland or Olympia Looping, definitely Olympia Looping, Mindbender or Chimera, Chimera, because it doesn't have the shoulder restraints, Goodricks or Indiana Jones Temple of Peril, Goodricks, better layout, although Indiana Jones has the more intense moment with the looping. Schwarzkopf or Premier Rise, Schwarzkopf or Vekoma, CCI or GCI, CCI or PTC, CCI. B&M or Intamin, Park Asterix or Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Busch Gardens, not even close. Busch Gardens Tampa or Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Tampa. Sphinx Magic Mountain or Cedar Point, Cedar Point or Kings Island, Cedar Point. Knoebels or Dollywood. American parks or European parks, Asian parks. King or Ninja, La Coaster or Storm Chaser, La Coaster or Fury 325? Well, Fury 325 actually. La Coaster or Infinity Tour 305, La Coaster. Worst SLC or Worst Boomerang? Worst Boomerang. The Gas Express or Fire Chaser Express? The Gas Express or Osiris? The Dust Osiris or Pegasus Express? Rank all three in order of how good they are. Dustin last, Pegasus second, and Osiris in first. Tonnerre has the best layout, but in my opinion it's just too rattly and not intense enough. Most painful coaster you've ridden besides King? El Condor, least comfortable coaster you've ridden? Based on the seating, probably some Wacky World. What is your top 3? So my number 3 is... If you were forced to pick a manufacturer to shut down between those 4 options, Intamin, B&M, Mac or RMC, who would you pick and why? A few days ago I would have said Mac because they seem less crazy and daring. Now I've seen DC Rivals testing and I will downvote B&M. Too bad because their latest flyers seem so good. Drew Virgo says, I'll be living in Bretagne next year as an exchange student and I was wondering what's the best and closest parks to get to are. Cool. I hope you really like your experience in France. It's really great to have people coming here. Honestly, there's not really a good park there in Bretagne. Festiland is cheap, but you only get 2 crappy silky coasters for that price. I would just recommend going to Paris on the weekend and trying Asterix. Blazing Acre asks me, how good is Monster at Alligator Park? It's pretty good, intense, and because there's no MC beer anymore, the second half is even snappier and forceful. Too bad it's getting noticeably shaky in a few spots though. Ice Speed or Red Fire, Blue Fire or Star Trek, Blue Fire. That's Happy Valley Park, Shanghai, but I predict that Beijing will be better once they get their B&M Hyper. Zampella Discovery or Intamin Frisbee, Best flat ride you have ridden. Flower Tower at Holiday Park. Best looking coaster in Asia, Gravity Max. Best launch on a coaster you have ridden, Anubis at Plopsa Land. Favorite family coaster, the SFC by Vekoma. Best dive coaster, I've only ridden Baron, but Shakra looks like the best in my opinion. Least favorite B&M you have ridden: Green Lantern, A Great Adventure, Flying Aces, or Skyrush. Skyrush. Most mediocre coaster you have ridden: if you mean the most average, Batman The Dark Knight at Six Flags New England. It's really forgettable and generic. Helix or Flash? Flash without trims. Flash or Thunder Dolphin? Flash. Most underrated park you have been to? All the parks I've been to are more or less match what I've read about them online, so none. Most underrated flat ride you have ridden? Definitely some of the wonky stuff at Legendia. Most underrated coaster you have ridden? No, maybe Superman at Six Flags America, but not by much. Shambhala or Goliath? Welby Holland. Goliath. I have to pick Goliath, do I? Favorite coaster YouTuber? I don't have really one favorite. However, I really like Coasterbot for his editing. That intimate guy's goofy personality is really adorable. Rob's Ride for his humor. Canada Coaster fan because a North American doing a big trip in Europe is awesome. Most fun you have had on a coaster? Taron by Night. Formula 1 coaster or La Coaster? La Coaster. Lost Gravity or Blue Fire? Lost Gravity. Which park do you think will get the first T-Rex coaster? Michigan's Adventure. Airtime or Reversions? Airtime. Positive or negative G-forces? If I have to choose, Airtime, but I love both, obviously. Do you think Vekoma will make any more tilt coasters? Really good questions. My answer would be China. They could dare to buy one, and that would be really awesome with the new Vekoma truck and crazy elements. So maybe. Favorite coaster manufacturer? Intamin. Least favorite coaster manufacturer? SBF. Favorite coaster restraints? Like La Barres. What was your first coaster? Ironically, it was at Disney and it was Big Thunder Mountain in Paris. And finally, wooden coasters versus steel coasters. I need to write more good wooden coasters to fairly answer that, honestly. Canada Coaster fan asked me to choose between Temple du Péril and Chinese water torture. Without second thought, Temple du Péril. I just hate getting soaked. Gregory 2 Triple K asked me to choose between Energylandia and Legendia. Energylandia, it has the more complete ride lineup and much better operations. Legendia has the better theming and obviously the coaster, but if I had to recommend one park to GP friends or even enthusiasts, especially with what's coming next year, Energylandia wins. And that concludes my 100 subscriber Q&A special. Thank you very much for the support and the amazing feedback you've given me and comments. It's very heartwarming. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the substandard sound quality. The video is so long and I was in a rush, so I had no time to do the usual editing. Coming up next is some Belgian and Netherlands stuff. I will be uploading some vlogging. I hope you liked that video and see you guys next time. Thank you guys, you're amazing.